what is it that our education should be providing?
That is the $50 trillion question, Karen, and it's a subject I've spent a lot of time thinking about. Charlie Kirk first asked me to speak on this at the Turning Point USA's Educators Summit, and I had already spent, a decade thinking about this, but it really forced me to sit down and think, what is the purpose of education? And so I consulted every source that I could find. First I went to the Bible, which is where I always go. And then I went to the places that inform the world. Why does the world think that we educate children? What does the UN say about these issues? And for me, it actually boils down to a pretty simple answer. I love the way Classical Conversations, but it's a national homeschooling organization. I actually have my children enrolled there. They've got 135,000 students. It's great. And they say the purpose of education is to know God and make him known, which I think is a really, really good starting point. I expand it a little bit from there. I say that there are some additional things, and they definitely include that in there. They just got the short little tagline. But I say it's also designed to teach children good character, to
Mm.
teach them how to think, to teach them how to be useful to their fellow human beings. So if you would indulge me just for a moment, Karen, I actually spent, like I said, a long time thinking about this and wrote myself a little definition. So here's how and this is just Alex Newman's opinion. People could throw it out. But I wrote, the purpose of education is to teach people to know, serve, fear, and obey God, as well as how to think while forming a godly character and developing skills to serve and work with others. So that's a lot in there. I love the way that the first American dictionary that was ever published in our country, this was 1828, published by the wonderful, wonderful man, Noah Webster, literally the first dictionary in America that was ever published. And if you don't mind, I'll just read that definition so that people can understand that what I'm saying is not actually that radical in a historical
Yes.
context when it comes to the West. He says in the definition of education, noun, from the Latin educatio, the bringing up as of a child, instruction, formation of manners. Education comprehends all that series of instruction and discipline which is intended to enlighten the understanding, correct the temper, and form the manners and habits of youth to fit them for usefulness in their future stations. He goes on, he says, to give children a good education in manners, arts, and science is important. To give them a religious education is indispensable, and an immense responsibility rests on parents and guardians who neglect these duties. So I think that's the real purpose of education.